Hello and welcome my Aquarius collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs and cross watchers. Welcome to your timeless work, career, and vocation reading. I am your reader, at least for the moment. Mark Angela Lyons, Mal for short. They are my initials. I am a professional witch, a professional intuitive, and president of Drawing the Circle Productions since 1998. Author of 2 different books with a 3rd one in process. The first one's called Spell Ingredients from a Professional Witch. The second one is called Words of Grace from a Professional Witch, and there is a Kindle version of Words of Grace. If you would like to preview it for free, there is a link in the description box that allows you to look at the first chunk of it, and you can see the table of contents. You'll see it is mostly divided into chakra chapters. There are chakras in this reading. You may find it helpful. The original version of Words of Grace, not the Kindle, but the original version of Words of Grace, as well as the only place to find spell ingredients from a professional witch, would be on patreon.com/drawing the circle in our digital shop. We got audios, we got videos, we got free previews now for the audios and videos. You can check them out as you like. Some of my subscribers get the audios, videos, and ebooks depending upon their level of subscription, but the majority of my subscribers get a couple of things in common. They get a daily check-in. I send them an unlisted YouTube live stream link every morning, pretty much. I did it this morning because I'm still getting over New Year's Eve. It was a good party, a really, really good time. Follow me on Facebook and Instagram, lots of pictures. We chat about the day's astrological weather, the magical applications, the spiritual implications, always ending with a prayer, a blessing, a little something, something, send us on our way. Best way for me to start the day, considering what I do in my work, career, and vocation. They also get the timeless readings, the part 2s, the extended readings. All of my extended readings are timeless and relationship stuff based, you know, twin flame, soulmate, true love, all of that, as well as they get a significant discount when they book me for a private session. We'll talk about that at the end of the video if you want more info on that. There's all sorts of cool stuff going over on our Patreon. We're doing a lot. We are absolutely doing a lot. Best thing I ever did in my work, career, and vocation, bringing it all into alignment. You can follow us for free. I put out stuff just for my free followers, although my subscribers see it too. As well as you can 7-day free trial us as a seeker or a human to dip a toe if you like. So if you feel so drawn, click the link, check it out, and come Patreon on Patreon. Because I am the Archangel of Lions, Mark Angela Lyons. It's just so much easier to just call me Mal. Hi, yay. Back in the saddle again, although this is a chair, not a saddle. Metaphorically speaking, I think it works. So let's do some explanation for the new Aquarians and cross-watchers, and then we will dive into the divination. If you've heard it all before, feel free to jump ahead. Otherwise, hi, new aqua lungs and aquariums, as I love to call you all. I have so many Aquarian friends, one of which I assisted quite a bit over the past couple of years getting a better job with work, career, and vocation. Technically, this is what's called the 3-level of power reading. There's a link in the description box by Carolyn Mace, MYSS. She is a PhD, author of Sacred Contracts, Anatomy of the Spirit, Defy Gravity, Entering the Castle, all of which were just life-changing for me. It's a way of looking at a larger thing, in this case, life purpose, through 3 levels of power, like sending light through a prism. To break it down a little bit, your work, career, and vocation. We are doing 11 cards total for this spread, so we're going to get 3 Caroline Mace archetype cards to see what's going on in the 8th chakra. I learned about the 8th chakra very, very powerfully from her book, Anatomy of the Spirit. Genius, genius work. So we'll get 3 of those for what's going on in the 8th chakra that sends down the codes to all the other chakras underneath it, shifting what we attract and what we repel. Slow it down, Mercury just went direct. Whether we are aware of it or not, we attract and we repel, so that we have the opportunity, the free will, to no longer delay what cannot be prevented in terms of fulfilling our life purpose, what we contracted to do in this lifetime. That's what this reading does, known or unknown. So we'll get 3 face down Daughters of the Moon for the heart, throat, third eye, crown, the internal, the feminine energy. Then we will get 3 mythic tarot for the lower 3 chakras, relationships in the physical world. It can be you looking at yourself from the outside in, you looking from the inside out at people, places, and things that you have relationships with in the world. And of course, mirroring can happen, particularly with cross-watcher reads. Once all 9 of those are face down, we're not going to turn them over once they hit the table, then we will read them work, career, and vocation, and then we're going to get a whisper of Lord Ganesha. Angela Hartfield, I love her work. Ganesh is the Hindu elephant-headed god of success and prosperity. Yes, these are very much the money reads, but also the remover of obstacles, and we'll talk about that when we get to them. Archetype cards, spiritual alchemy, lead and gold, and all of that. And then we will end with a Matt Kahn healing mantra to bring it all together, to give you a piece of mental mantra, fixed air, right? Aquarians, you can fix your mind, focus your mind on something to help bring it all into alignment. And truth be told, I've been doing these readings for decades for people, always helping them not just to make more money, although that sometimes happens, but to live a more fulfilling life, to live a happier, healthier, wealthier, wiser life in a happier, healthier, wealthier, wiser way, for a happier, healthier, wealthier, wiser world, because as even just one of us takes a step forward, fulfilling our life purpose, because we are all one, there is an upward spiral, and we all move forward a little bit. So, I think that's enough of the explanation. Let's get into some divination. Both feet on the floor if you can. Focus on your breath if you will. And I promise I will do my best to help anybody fulfill their life purpose, work, career, and vocation-wise. Because this is what I'm contracted to do in this life. And I would like to not have to incarnate in this level of the illusion of separation over again. So, I guess that's about it. The shift from explanation to divination happens in the still point. It's one of my favorite things to do. It's just a simple 2-word mantra, spell, prayer, whatever you want to call it. Follow along if you like. Shall we? Please take a nice deep breath. Here we go. Still point. And let us begin. Pantheonic override. A place for everything and everything in its place, put all where it belongs in time and space, for the well-being of all and with harm to none, as we will it, so let it be done. My beloved pantheons of the divine, may I please have 3 Caroline Myss archetype cards to signify what's going on in the 8th chakra for the Aquarian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs and their cross-watchers, to assist them in alchemizing their shadow to light, their lead to gold, their pain to peace, shifting from toxicity to health, to fear to love in their work, career, vocations. What's going on in their work, 8th chakra? What's going on in their career, 8th chakra, and what's going on in their vocation in their 8th chakra. And like I said, we're getting all of these face down first, and then we will flip them work, then career, and then vocation. Please take a nice deep breath. Still point. My goddesses override. A place for everything and everything in its place, put all where it belongs in time and space, for the well-being of all and with harm to none, as we will it, so let it be done. My beloved goddesses, what's going on? Heart, third eye, crown for the Aquarians and the cross-watchers in their work. Same thing. What's going on? Heart, third eye, crown in their career. That one flew out pretty easily. And what's, not so much on this one. Oh, all right, let's try that again. And what's going on? Heart, third eye, crown for the Aquarius and the cross-watchers in their vocation. 3 more down, then we'll start flipping. Mythic Tarot, love this deck. Please take a nice deep breath. Still point. My gods override. Ooh, we even turned on the heat. A place for everything, and everything in its place, put all where it belongs in time and space, for the well-being of all, with harm to none, as we will it, so let it be done. My beloved gods, 3 cards face down for the Aquarian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs and their cross-watchers, outside in, inside out, lower 3 chakras, relationships in the physical world, in their work, in their career, and in their vocation for this timeless work, career, and vocation reading. Let's flip. Let's see. Ooh, we're off to a running start. Oh, I like it. Okay. So in your work world, work is your survival intuition. It's lower 3 chakra dominated. It's how you survive in the world. Not everybody makes their money from their work. I make mine from my career. Work, I'm a producer, right? So I'm a president. So it's a lot of work that I don't get paid for, but it sets up everything else for me to do that. So you have got the Exorcist. Now I'm going to say the Exorcist. Just too many Linda Blair references coming into my head. I am Generation X. I can't help it. Written on this card is the shadow attribute and the light attribute. I call this lead, this gold, 3 symbolic atoms that cannot be created or destroyed in between, but they can be transformed, evolved, alchemized, right? Forgiven, surrendered, call it what you will. So the Exorcist is also the shaman in a lot of ways, and I think you'll hear it. The shadow attribute is the lead, like I said. So the shadow attribute, fear of facing your own demons. Who doesn't have that, right? And, you know, that's why, demons, right? Like every paranormal show, they keep running into demons everywhere. Well, those are usually the collective shadows, right? The 7 deadly sins that we all have to deal with and alchemize into the 7 holy graces. So the light attribute, freeing yourself and others of destructive impulses. So this is a shadow work card, if ever there was one, right? And a demon is just an angel that has forgotten who they are, right? It's the same bloodline, kind of, sort of. What you got inside is my favorite card in the Daughters of the Moon, 3 of Pentacles, a Ruru, clay woman. She who takes dirt, sifts out the sand from the clay, sculpts it and molds it, but it has not yet been put in the kiln or the fire to become something permanent. So very mutable earth on the inside. Now, Pentacles on the inner isn't about your internal organs necessarily, so much as it is about the wisdom that you've gained. So when I work with this card, when it comes up for me, I think of it as like, okay, I got a fully stocked kitchen, right? So I've got pasta, I've got, you know, all the ingredients to make bolognese, which my bolognese brings men to their knees. That delicious, right? But I still have to put it together. So you have all the ingredients inside of yourself here. But with those destructive impulses, fear of facing your inner demons, just know you got enough wisdom for a solid foundation. 3s, like a tripod, are a solid foundation. My camera is on a tripod. A 4-legged thing may wobble, but a 3-legged can't. And what you got on the outer here is 6 of Cups. This could be more about the past than the future, but it's an opportunity with the 6 to bring things into emotional harmony. Now, in terms of relationships in the physical world, you might be looking back at when things were better or perhaps when things were worse and finding the balance of that. But your destructive impulses, like people don't like the word destruction, and yet without stomach acids, right, which destroys the cell lining so that the body can extract the nutrients and get rid of what doesn't work, you know, alimentary canals or whatever, 16 miles in the alimentary canal, then certainly there is a healing process in place here, but you can only do this for yourself, and you can delay it. Oh, you can delay, but it cannot be prevented. And that's why we keep reincarnating, right? Because we finish the game and we go, oh man, right? And we have to come back in again. It's just like a video game. So, I mean, as horrible as The Exorcist, well, The Exorcist. Beware of pea soup at parties. Certainly there is an emotional thing here. Now, I will also say what I'm getting off that 6 of Cups is this could be tribal. Lower 3 chakras are relationships in the physical world. The root chakra is tribal dynamics, so this could be families, corporations, right? Industries, right? Like my industry is a professional witch. Is the new age spiritual, metaphysical, pagan, blah, 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 right? So I can relate to that looking back and seeing what I've learned. Interesting. And balancing it emotionally, I think, is key. Let's look at your career. Ooh, the Femme Fatale. Now, this is a wild card family archetype. There are 9 different families. Exorcist is the divine family, I believe. So this is not about biological gender at all. Even if it was a feminine family archetype, it's not. Archetypes are not gender specific. Written on the card for the Femme Fatale, and I want you to think Morticia Adams because you will get this, the shadow or the lead, inappropriate use of sensuality, attachment to money and power. You know Tish did not give up power that readily. The light you are shooting for, highlights the erotic energy of the feminine, which is magnetic, masculine is electric, opens your heart when your dependency has been rejected. Now look, even though these are about work, career, and vocation, doesn't mean that they don't involve relationships, right? So let's see what's under that, what's going on there. Woo! Wow! You are going through the Phoenix. Rising from the ashes, traditionally the death card, but more often in Daughters of the Moon, this is about rising from the ashes rather than going to. So if your dependency has been rejected, and maybe that's not about people, maybe that's about a certain line of income that you make creatively. Second level of power, career is about your hunger, your passion, your thirst, heart, third eye crown, dominant, second level of power there. So there might have been some suffering that you went through, that you were reduced to ashes and now rising from them, but kind of identify, well, what is it that my dependency was rejected, either by another person, place, thing, or the universe itself saying, you don't need to be dependent upon this anymore. Oh, when it's a major arcana card, it's usually all of the chakras in that zone working in unison. So you could say heart, third eye crown are all going through this death and rebirth process with the Magician. Now, I want to just point out, this is Psyche of the myth Eros and Psyche. There are lots of videos about the myth of Eros and Psyche, and it is a true love story, and a very long one, too. This is after she had a boo-boo with her already husband, Eros, the god of romantic love. So here we've got Hermes. Hermes the magician, Hermes the trickster, Hermes very, very powerful yang dynamic there at a crossroads with the wand, the cup, the sword, and the pentacle at that crossroads, doing sort of, you know, the John Travolta, Danny Terrio, as above, so below, becoming a channel here. So I would say there is definitely action here, but in terms of intuitive function, every chakra has its own type or frequency of intuitive voice. This is about you really transforming on the inside and bringing that into physical form by balancing your fire, your earth, your air, and your water. Just saying. So, you know, it's a very, very powerful thing, the Femme Fatale. Like Elvira, I could go on, I just won't. Oh, the healer in your vocation. Look, there ain't no growth without healing. It's just, and there is no healing without growth. So I would say the healer archetype here, in terms of your spiritual power, your vocation, your spiritual calling, the shadow attribute, taking advantage of those who need help, failing to care for oneself. Now, I've been in this industry for a very long time. Please, I started the company in 1998, but like my first gig in metaphysics was in a crystal store called Allura in Porter Square, Massachusetts. So rarely do I see people who abuse, or have I run into people who actually take advantage of the people that they are healing. It's more that second part of it. Failing to care for oneself. And Aquarians, you can be so humanitarian that you take care of everybody else. You pour out your cup, and at the end of the day, there's nothing left. So keep that in mind, because the light, a passion, and this would be a spiritual passion, to serve others by repairing the body, mind, and spirit, ability to transform pain into healing. And I feel like this is where we've got this transformation going on in your second level of power, but it's going to take your spiritual calling, reason, season, or a lifetime to pull that off. And you got another major arcana card. The card of celebration is the card of judgment. Here we see women circle dancing, looks like in the mountains, right? Woman gathering or something, right, around a central point. But if we look closer, we see that they are all dancing around the navel of the great Mother Earth. Breasts in the foreground, pubic mound in the back there. So something is revealed here, and I would say heart, third eye crown unified there. You have a revelation. It feels like this energy is starting in the 8th chakra and working its way down into form, which would make sense with the Magician. And on the outer, yet another major arcana card, the Hanged Man, Prometheus bound, stole fire from his nieces and nephews, he's a Titan, stole fire from the Olympians, so humanity would no longer be at such the whim of the gods. They would have fire, so they would be able to thrive and survive. Well, the Olympians didn't like that. Chained him upside down to a rock in Tartarus, which is as far below the underworld as the underworld is below the upper world, so it's not exactly hell. It's more like a reform school, if you like. And the sacrifice was that his liver would be pecked out by a vulture. It depends on the telling. Sometimes it's a hawk, sometimes, whatever, an eagle. Because he was immortal, would keep growing back. Now, he was eventually released. It is there is parole. You can get out on parole. So as much as we have Prometheus bound, we have Prometheus unbound, right? He was eventually, he ran out his sentence, I guess you could say, and came to the period at the end. But I also like to see this right, and the original for me really is Odin. On the world tree Yggdrasil, plucked out an eye, gave it to the Norns, hung himself upside down from the world tree, got the runes and other cash and prizes as a result. A sacrifice, I had just explained this to somebody the other day when I was reading them. I said, look, spit is not a sacrifice, right? So spit magic, it exists, but it's not, right? Like even urine magic, which is good for marking your boundaries, it's a waste product. Blood, however, you need. So a sacrifice is often about letting go of a point of view. I'm also going to say in lower three chakras, the way you thought things were supposed to be, which would make sense that a dependency, that something you really depended on was rejected or did not come through. And as a result, you're dealing with some angry demons, some hungry hippos in there. But you have the creativity of the Three of Pentacles to really work with this to your benefit. I like this. So an Exorcist Femme Fatale healer. I'm sure a lot of you watching this are Exorcist Femme Fatale healers. And it sounds like a good gig. It's almost like Justice League Dark going on there, a little Zatanna energy. Sometimes I speak backwards just by accident. Yeah, it's an interesting job I have. So, Whispers of Lord Ganesha. Let's see what he has to say to help you remove some of these obstacles as well as do the alchemy. Please take a nice deep breath. Still point. Lord Ganesha override. Turned on the heat again. Here we go. A place for everything and everything in its place. Put all where it belongs in time and space for the well-being of all and with harm to none as we will it. So let it be done, beloved Lord Ganesh. What is your loving, wise, empowered oracle message to help the Aquarius collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs and their crosswatchers alchemize their shadow to light, their lead to gold, their pain to peace, their toxicity to health, shifting from fear to love and illusion to truth, fulfilling their sacred contracts in their work, career, vocation, and life purpose for this timeless work, career, vocation read? Achievement! Yay! Yay! This is Ganesh with his two wives, Riddhi and Siddhi. I believe, if I remember that correctly, it is success and prosperity. I'm going to read this from the bookie book because it's really rather... Oh, lovely. And it's number 42. Yep, the answer to life, the universe, and everything. But what was the question? You are surrounded by abundance and prosperity, luxury and quality, prestige and sophistication, value and elegance. Now, if you're not seeing that, that's what this one is for. Many stories relate that Ganesh has two wives, Siddhi, S-I-D-D-H-I, which means success, and Riddhi, R-I-D-D-H-I, which means prosperity. The symbolism of these two women indicates that if you walk the path set by Ganesh, success and prosperity are guaranteed to always be by your side. I've gotten this card a lot. It's very Tony Orlando and Dawn, I will say. The search for material success seldom brings with it achievement of spiritual goals. Why? Because we compromise our integrity, we get controlled by external forces. It's not great. It's just not. The search for material success. Oh, sorry, I skipped one. Ganesh wishes you to realize that by actively developing your spirituality and consciously working with the divine, you will experience positive flow-on effects in all areas of your existence, which means you don't have to like go on a retreat every weekend to rebuild your spirit. That your work, your career, and your vocation is giving you everything that you need to integrate your spirituality into all of this. When you stay connected to your spiritual nature, you have a more serene mind, develop an accepting perception of yourself, which is sometimes just saying, hey, it's okay, this is where I am. It's a journey, right? Being more, seeing a larger picture, which is very Aquarian. This attitude will help your heart open to spiritual matters. A high level of self-mastery coupled with a high ethical practice will increase the likelihood of enjoying material success because, you know, so we work really hard, we make the money, we get the things that we want, and we're burnt out, exhausted, right? So this is a way of staying replenished as you go. As more people discover the rewards of a more dynamic and fulfilling spiritual life, this success will become the norm in society and not an exception for a few eccentric individuals. Hi! The more relationships among human beings develop into true kinship, the more humanity can achieve beyond the present limits of knowledge and material measures of success. In other words, more money and prosperity for everybody, become part of a brotherhood governed by love, working towards building a happier, more loving, and productive global society. That's exactly what these readings are for. Dig it, digging it big time, right? Is there shadow work here? There's always shadow work in life. There's always a little bit more lead begging to be alchemized into gold. It's just how it is until we're done, right? And then, you know, we'll see what happens when we croak, if we have to come back or not. Just do your best, right? Believe it or not, I was a Boy Scout. Isn't that terrifying? Please take a nice deep breath. I made chocolate mousse in the woods. Gay boy. Still point. Ascended Master Override. A place for everything and everything in its place, but all where it belongs in time and space, for the well-being of all and with harm to none, as we will it, so let it be done. Beloved Ascended Masters, what is the perfectly accurate healing mantra to help the Aquarian collective and their cross-watchers alchemize their shadow to light, their lead to gold, their pain to peace, shifting from toxicity to health, from fear to love and illusion to truth, fulfilling their life purpose in their work, career, vocation? For this timeless work, career, and vocation, read. Resolving anger. Demons much? Who ain't got them? Okay, the Dalai Lama probably doesn't. Conflict reminds me when I need more space for myself. Ooh, I get this one. I do get this one. Not only do I get it conceptually, I've had it a bunch of times. And so the thing is particularly if we are feeling down, underneath all pain, underneath all anger is a loss of power as a result of pain. So there is definitely something alchemical going on here, but I would say if the 3 levels of power, usually one of them has a leverage, I would say your vocation. Right, the healer, revelation on the inside, hangman on the outside. In other words, you go into your spiritual work, as the achievement card talks about here. You surrender your way of looking at this, maybe seeing it from a higher place, right? And something is then revealed to you, which then allows you to go through the transformation that you're going through while kind of being on point and of your own free will here, right? The Magician, yes, is technically the first card in the Major Arcana. The Fool is a 0. It has no numeric value. It's between the worlds, so to speak. So this is about you really bringing forth your best self in a rather magical way, but by your own free will. And that Course in Miracles says you can delay, but it cannot be prevented. So we're going to come across conflict. Can be inner conflict, can be outer conflict, but certainly keep an eye on your anger. Don't push it down. When you push down your anger, it goes into your cell tissue and wreaks havoc. And if that's not dealt with, it goes down through the root chakra and into the Earth's electromagnetic field, and then we see crazy stuff, all sorts of atrocities. So I'm going to read this for you. Conflict reminds me when I need more space for myself, which means pull back. Oh, look, I'm talking to Aquarians, right? You guys are naturals and shooting up into the atmosphere. When anger is resolved, you are able to see your emotional reactions or the abrupt responses of others as evidence of profound transformation taking place. And that's right here. Femme Fatale, Phoenix, and the Magician. When anger is present, it acts as a sign of needing more space to face the feelings that are ready to be healed or to balance out patterns of doing with moments of silent being. As you resolve anger, you are able to find the time you need to be both rested and productive. So, like my new Aquarian friend, my friend who I've known for 30 years, who finally got a job that actually respects him, he may look back at where he was and get very, very angry about that. My nickname for him is Juggernaut, because it's an X-Man thing he is. He just lives through everything. So that makes sense, right? It's like, okay, I'm in this place, I'm in this transformation that's going on. Might be a little chaotic, transformation usually is, but allow those demons to rise up so they can be alchemized into angels. Good omens, right? This mantra is ideal for managing stress, deepening interpersonal communication. Ooh, that's really important. And tempering frustration. Now, tempering is actually a metallurgic term or a cooking term, right? Like you're going to temper eggs, right? You don't want them to turn into scrambled eggs, so you gently and slowly add the warmer liquid to the eggs, like tempering chocolate, right? So it doesn't get all weird and funky on you. So there's a very strong element of fire here, even though there are no fire cards particularly on the table. But we don't think of anger necessarily as a water element. We think of it as fire, and anger is often creativity blocked. So whatever's going on here, really, there's a strong bend here towards your spirituality, being willing to see things different. There's always a higher truth, right? No matter what we think the highest truth is, there's always a higher level of consciousness. So taking the time to take space for yourself, which, like I said, Aquarians are good at. Aquarians don't just pull back, they pull back and up, right? They want to see the largest picture of it to make sense of it. I like this reading. I mean, it's got its challenges, but life purpose does. Otherwise, not much of a movie. Right? Oh, the hero completed the quest day one. That was like a 15-minute movie. That's not great. Would be good on Mystery Science Theater 3000, though. All right, we're going to put this together in a blessimation, a combination of a blessing and a summation. And then we'll talk about other cool stuff if you want to hang around for it. If you will, one last time, please take a nice deep breath. While suburbia happens outside my window, still point. May we end as we began. Pantheonic override. Still point. As I call upon the collective pantheons of the divine, for our beloved Aquarius collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs, and cross-watchers watching this video and drawn to this reading, may they be blessed with all that they need to alchemize their shadow to light, their lead to gold, their pain to peace, shifting from toxicity to health, fear to love, illusion to truth in their work, freeing themselves of and others of destructive impulses while they work that creativity, that wisdom that they've already gained, shifting and molding that mutable earth of clay woman, while perhaps they look back, they reflect, they take some space for themselves and bring themselves into emotional balance, which doesn't mean they're not going to feel what they're going to feel, but they are bringing that into balance through the alchemy as a result of their work in the world, and so that in their vocation they can highlight the erotic energy of the feminine, opening their heart when their dependency has been rejected on people, places, and or things, even industries, while they go through the phoenix, rising from the ashes, rather than going to. That's simple, but it just ain't easy, and as a result of their own free will and choice, they bring themselves into alignment, really paying attention to the chakric intuition on the inner and on the outer, working there in unison, and so that in their vocation They can embrace their passion to serve others by repairing the body, mind, and spirit, particularly within themselves, and enhancing their ability to transform pain into healing, which is certainly on the table here as a result of something being revealed to them that was always there, like those 3D puzzles in the 90s where you crossed your eyes and a lion jumped out at you, as a result of a sacrifice, a surrender, a releasing usually of a point of view, particularly with an air sign, a fixed belief that there's always a higher truth there that will absolutely inspire them and carry them through this healing so that they can resolve anger when conflict reminds them that they need more space for themselves. And may they be blessed with all that they need to heal, to grow, to learn, to evolve, to alchemize their shadow to light, their lead to gold, their pain to peace, their toxicity to health, shifting from fear to love and illusion to truth in their work, career, vocation, fulfilling their life purpose for happier, healthier, wealthier, wiser lives, in happier, healthier, wealthier, wiser ways, for a happier, healthier, wealthier, wiser world, for the well-being of all, and with harm to none. As we will it, so let it be done. So would it be, and so it is. And you even got Morticia Adams here. What's not to love about this reading? If you liked the reading, if you found it helpful, hit the thumbs up. It helps other aquariums and cross-watchers find the reading to help us all move forward a little bit. If you want more of me here on YouTube, please subscribe, hit notification bells, and, comment and all that stuff. It just helps everybody else find my work. And certainly if you want the deeper dive, come Patreon on Patreon, really. Just check out the menu. We got such cool stuff going on and more cool stuff coming because Patreon keeps giving us cool stuff to do, like the digital shop, which is wonderful. My books are there, the audios, the videos. You can shop as you like over on Patreon. You can 7-day free trial us as a seeker or a human. Dip a toe, jump out the last day. But if you want the significant discount, stay for a month and book me within that month, because it's not fair to my subscribers. Otherwise, you've got to be fair about this stuff, right? And certainly, it is my great joy to do stuff on Patreon, putting out exclusive content, advanced content for all of them. Seekers, humans, heroes, angels, witches, immortals, mystics, gods, goddesses. The majority of them get the daily check-ins, the extended readings, and the significant discount, and we'll talk about that next. But for right now, come Patreon on Patreon, because I am the Archangel of Lions, Markangelo Lion, so much easier to just call me Mal, not the long title. And if you want to book me for one of them, they're private sessions with or without Patreonic intervention. There is a video in the description box, a YouTube video called Booking Private Sessions with Mal. I finally changed my prices when the company turned 25 years old, May 1st, 2023. We're now officially in 2024 at the time of this timeless recording. That video explains everything. How to book me, what my boundaries are, what I can do, what I can't do, what I charge, why I charge it, the discounts, all of that stuff, it's in there. But the most important thing that I say in that video, I've never turned anybody away because of lack of money, ever. I won't do it. It's not who I am. That's not who I want to be. And I've seen it happen all over the place. Where there is a witch, there is a way. I'm a witch, so there is a way, and we can work it out. We can work it out. Yeah, click the link. It's a fun video. It makes my mom laugh, so we're good. And certainly, what an honor. What an honor. Oh, hi, I got a kitty cat at my feet. It's an honor to help my Aquarian friends, because, when you guys are shining high and flying high, you really are an inspiration to all of us. So this may not be an easy read to swallow, but it is one that I think you can digest and transform in ways. Just remember, it's okay to take time and space for yourself. I forgot I'm talking to an Aquarius. So thank you so much for watching. Wishing you all the very best and the very blessed and the fulfillment of your life purpose, step by step in your work, career, vocation. Hang in there. I believe in you. You're the superheroes of the Zodiac. I love you. Hail, farewell, and blessed be.